Hi, my name is Linseyanne Lafferty and I'm going to be discussing an ethical dilemma. Mr X was a service user who suffered from Korsakoff's. He had been an alcohol dependent for some 40 years, leading to his prognosis. Mr X had 2 sons and many siblings and very close to him and often visited. During visits, Mr X's family would give him alcohol. This often led to more confusion and verbal and violent outbursts from Mr X. Mr X mostly was very confused and had a long and short-term memory loss. He could, however, get himself dressed, but would often forget to change clothes. Staff would leave clean clothes out for him and would remind him when he had to take a bath or a shower. Mr X generally had no problems with assistance in personal care. The ethical dilemma arose when certain family members visited. Mr X often appeared under the influence of alcohol and became verbally and physically aggressive, which was not in his character. SSC codes of practice used was to promote the independence of service users whilst protecting them as far as possible from danger or harm. I've done this by 1.1 treating each person as an individual. The impact. Having an understanding of Mr X and his behaviour, I identified that his violent outbursts and aggression was in line with family visits and alcohol consumption. My next step, after discussing with the unit manager, all behaviour and family visits were recorded in care plans and observed. Having these documents in place allowed us to speak with the family and raise our concerns for Mr X's well-being, and also consult with the doctor due to medication issues. Another SSC code of practice was the right to respect rights of service users while seeking to ensure that their behaviour does not harm themselves or other people. I done this by understanding Mr X and his nature. I noticed differences at different times and notified senior staff. Mr X's behaviour harmed him as he became violent and upset and was out of character. Also, the interference with alcohol with his medication was a concern. In summary, having created trust with Mr X and his family, I feel the meeting and discussions resulted in the best outcome for Mr X. My priority as a care assistant was the well-being of Mr X, and his family also wanted the best for him. Other SSC codes of practice I followed include declared abuse that might create conflicts of interest and make sure they do not influence my judgment or practice. As a care assistant, it is my interest to look after residents' well-being and safety. Another practice included 3.3, follow practices and procedures designed to keep me and other people safe from violence and abusive behaviour at work. I followed this code of practice by keeping daily records and care plans and teaching other staff members to this situation and how to manage and control this situation. Thank you for listening.